I'm getting kisses today on AnimalZone. This is Paige Turner, and Paige's mom, Susan Hartzler, is the author of a fabulous new book that's come up called I'm Not Single, I Have a Dog. Tales from the Bark Side.
Dating Tales from the Bark Side.
Oh, that's right. It is a dating tale book. Well, you know what? I looked at
because there's no Tales from the Bark Side with dogs. It's all good.
It is all good. And these dogs are so great. I mean, just coming in the door, they've been just all smiles. And Paige Turner has got beautiful a blue eye and a brown eye, huh?
Yep.
Wow. Tell me a little bit about these guys, just so I know where they came from.
Okay, so Seven was a show dog. Mm-hmm. And I rescued him off the show ring. And then a few years later, well, I had another Aussie at the time, but she died, and you can't just have one Aussie. It's like you collect them.
do they need each other? Do they need like a...
You know, because he was a show dog, he did really need another dog, because he grew up, when I first got him, he stayed outside for the whole first month. I had to sort of just ignore him. Yeah. Because he'd only been outside with dogs or in a crate at a show. He'd never seen another dog breed. When he saw his first Great Dane, yeah. What's that?
A horse.
Hey, Paige, don't go on the furniture. Thank you. It's been fun to watch him because it's a whole different world. But now he runs the house now. It didn't take him long. Mm-hmm. Sit down, girl. Sit down. Be a good girl. Good girl. That's good. And then I got her a few years later as a Christmas present from my best friend. Yeah. And I've had this book that I've been trying to sell for years. And when I got her, I said, I'm going to name you Paige Turner, and you're going to get me a book deal. And 4 months later, I got a book deal with McFarland.
That's terrific.
So
you're a good agent.
She did it for me.
Wow. Well, you know, your book, I read it and I was fascinated because it's got so many things on different levels. It's, of course, about the love of animals, which is what got to me, and your experience with different animals throughout your life. I mean, it's really an autobiography of you, animals, and some relationships that may have been a bit of a challenge.
Yes.
And not the ones with the animals, it seems like. The animals were the great salvation, weren't they?
Yes.
You know, but you started very young with you had a rescue named Siesta, right?
Yes, she was a little Chihuahua Terrier mix. Uh-huh. And I just thought she was the most beautiful thing in the world. But at the time, they didn't really know much about like dogs scratching and stuff. And every summer, she'd scratch her back to the place where it was like scabs. Oh. And I always thought she was so beautiful, because to me she was.
Sure, and it's what's inside that counts. Yeah. You know, and so Siesta was sort of the beginning of your relationship with dogs. Yeah. And then you started working in LA, and at some point, Blondie came into your life, right?
Yes.
And Blondie, named after actually one of my favorite bands from the 80s.
Blondie is a group, right?
Yeah, Blondie is a group with Debbie Harry.
Yeah.
And just a wonderful group. How did Blondie come into your life?
Well, I had been dumped yet again by another man who actually had been engaged to be married the whole time we went out, and I didn't know it. Wow. So I was just really depressed, and I really wanted to find love. And I thought about, my greatest love up till then was Siesta. Mm-hmm. And I thought, maybe if I get a dog, I won't bring in these guys that are fear of commitment or, that I have to take care of, because I'll be taking care of the dog. So it made sense to me. But I just went to the pound looking for a dog, looking. I wasn't going to bring home anything. And I saw her in the back of a cage, and we just locked eyes. And I remember going back and forth, and she was just lying there, just watching me. And I just said, "That's my dog. I have to get that dog." So that's how I got her.
And you brought Blondie home, and
she grew up in my brand new car, my first brand new car ever. She hadn't been driven around much. Now I find that that's really something that happens with a lot of dogs when they first start riding in the car.
Right.
So I'm an expert at that.
So when you had Blondie living at home with you, you kind of had a relationship going on that made us guys sort of secondary, right?
Yeah.
For the most part. Did you judge men by how they responded to Blondie?
I did, but people will say, oh, they know bad people. But they're just like us. So she did lead me into some not so great relationships, because she liked the people, so. Yeah. But yeah, they'd have to pass the Blondie test. I mean, I guess I pushed it a little too hard, because I'd meet guys for the first time and I had to bring my dog. And so initially they thought I was kind of weird, because back then there wasn't this amount of dog love around, or people didn't admit it as they do now.
And I know when you lost Blondie, it must have been devastating, right?
It was.
It's like the hardest thing, isn't it?
It was the hardest thing.
How do you deal with that kind of grief?
Well, it's hard because what people tell you is go get another one.
Yeah.
Just go get another dog. And they
Doesn't
don't
work, does it?
realize they're not just.
Like a pair of shoes?
Yeah,
No.
you can't just go get another dog. And I thought, I don't want to get another dog. I can't go through this again, but I need a dog in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I volunteered at the Lang Foundation, which I lived near at the time. And I walked in there and fell in love with this little black Muppet-looking dog. So I think for me, I'm such a good judge of character with dogs because I'm open. It's like there was another dog there at the Lang Foundation that looked just like Blondie. And I was drawn to that dog.
Yeah.
But this little black fluff, he turned out to be a Puli, or which is a
Hungarian, right?
Hungarian
Yeah.
sheepdog.
Yeah.
And he got me in a whole new world. And it was perfect. My mom bought him for me before she died. So it was like a living
Extension of your mom, right?
yeah, and of her love for me.
Isn't that great? And very active dog from what I can see. I mean, you were really involved in training and running, and Puli would jump through hoops and all these agility tests, right?
He got me into agility. So we went for training and in Beverly Hills, and the trainer had a few little agility things up. And he loved them. So I didn't know that there was this whole world where people compete and go weekly to classes. I just wanted to find a place where he could play on the equipment. I thought it was like a playground for dogs. And we got involved, and within the first year that we were doing it, he became the #1 Puli in agility in the whole United States. And I've never been a sports person. I've never been really good. So it was really exciting. But the key is there aren't many Pulis.
No,
there wasn't
really
a lot.
unique. I mean,
There wasn't
to
a lot
find
of
one in a
competition.
shelter is really amazing in
Oh,
itself.
I can't believe I found that.
I mean, that's really terrific.
Yeah.
Well, we want to find out more about what happened after we lost Baldwin, but we've got to take a quick break.
Okay.
Pay a few bills.
Okay.
But when we come back, we want to be talking more with these gorgeous dogs. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Say hi, Savvy.
Hey, take a look at these loving animals that you can adopt today. And don't worry, if someone beats you to the shelter, there are plenty more wonderful animals ready to find you and their forever home.
Whether they're explorers or sidekicks, loungers or balls of energy, all animals deserve love and a second chance. With donors like you, Santa Barbara Humane provides affordable, high-quality veterinary care, dog training, and adoption in Santa Maria and Santa Barbara. Vital Safety Net programs support all animals. To schedule an appointment for your pet or to donate to help more, visit sbhumane.org or call 805-964-4777.
I thank God for my life and for the stars and stripes. May freedom forever fly. Let it ring. Salute the ones who died, the ones that give their lives so we don't have to sacrifice all the things we
Thank you.
love.
And welcome home.
Like our chicken fries.
And we're back here on AnimalZone with Susan Hartzler, the author of I'm Not Single, I've Got a Dog, Dating Tales from the Dark Side, or the Bark Side.
Yeah.
Bark and dark.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, but, and we have, here in your lap, you've got one of your two beautiful pups, right?
This is 7.
And 7, 8, 9, right?
Yeah.
7 is, besides, was a rescue dog, right?
Yeah, and I was going to change his name.
Yeah.
He was 10 months old when I got him. And I tried a lot of different names, and they just weren't sticking. And then I just went, oh, you're 7. And I counted up the number of dogs I've had in my life. He's my 7th dog.
Oh.
So he was a meant to be.
Right. Well, you were telling us earlier about Puli, who was just an amazing dog and so active, and kind of
Silly.
and a reflection, really a gift from your mother before she passed, which is very touching,
And my mother was a school teacher. She was a first grade school teacher. 6 months after she bought him for me, she died. And so I said I wanted him to become a therapy dog and visit children in her honor. So I met this woman when I took him sheep herding once. He also did that. Wow. And she did therapy work, and she said, I think he'll be a good therapy dog. And we went through the classes and learned what to do. And he just, it was like his life mission. From the moment he did it, he knew exactly what to do. He'd walk into a room, I mean, I just really followed him. He'd walk into a room and start doing all of his tricks, because he did a lot of tricks. Or he'd walk in and just be really quiet. And one time I held him next to the bed of a little girl that just came out of chemo, and she just wanted to hold his paw. We went down to County USC, and he was quite a popular dog.
Right.
So even the head of the hospital wanted him. I got so many people would say, if you don't want him anymore, like, no, I want him.
Yeah. And would you suggest people who are watching, that they wanted to get a pet, to have that relationship? Maybe they're single, maybe they feel, they have a hole in their life that they want to fill. Would you start with a puppy? Would you start with a more mature dog?
It depends on where you are in life. I think if you open yourself up, the right dog will come. I honestly think that.
They choose you, huh?
Yeah. Blondie was 5 when I got her, because I worked full time and I knew I wasn't going to have time for a puppy. And she was too well trained, if anything. So the dog, if you work full time, it's fine. Dogs sleep a lot. They'll sleep for 8 hours while you're gone.
I'm awfully jealous.
I know, me too. I
Wish I
love
could.
naps. So, as long as you take them out and you're a responsible owner, that's fine. So it depends on your lifestyle. And also what kind of dog you get depends on your lifestyle. Because if I was working full time now, I wouldn't be able to have these dogs. They need to be with their human a lot.
Right.
And
they
so
look like they're pretty active. They need to get out and
they
walk
need to
around.
get out. I've taken them to parks 2 or 3 times a day. They go to the beach. But this is what I like to do. But if you want just like a kickback dog, get an ex-racer greyhound. They just, they want to just lie around all day.
They're exhausted from all that racing, right?
They're exhausted from all that racing. So I always say that. So there's definitely a breed for every person. And if you just open your heart, the right dog will come to you. I don't know how it works, but it does.
Well, your book will take people on a journey that is really a wonderful, heartwarming journey. I'm not single, I have a dog or 2. And this book is available, I'm sure, all good bookstores, but also do you have a website that people can look
I have a
at?
website, SusanHartzler.com, or I'm not single, I have a dog.com. And then it's also with my publisher, McFarland, and it's on Amazon and Barnes & Noble.
Fantastic. Wow. Well, this has been so great. I'm feeling much better, even though I'm not single, but I think I take a dog or 2. Would you come with me? Oh, we'll get a goodbye kiss. Goodbye kiss, because we're going to go take a break now on AnimalZone. We'll be right back. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, kiss. Oh.